Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 2021 Driver Career Mode with Mercedes, episode number 47 today for the Mexican Grand Prix, Season 3, round number 15, the penultimate round of the season. If you missed the previous episode uploaded yesterday at the United States Grand Prix, then go and check that out, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel to see plenty more F1 2021 Driver Career Mode videos, as of course when they come out, including of course Season 4 as well. Yeah, obviously coming into this one, then we've got still got 7 drivers who can actually still win the championship. Basically, the 2 Mercedes, myself and Hamilton, Stroll and Verstappen, Ricciardo and Norris, and then Carlos Sainz, the sole remaining Ferrari driver, a chance after Leclerc's terrible engine destroyed his chances of getting anywhere, really. Although he did have a better second half of the race, but the fact of the matter is he was so slow and he tried to overcut everyone. But anyway, R&D on screen. Ferrari have brought a small upgrades to help Sainz, and also the only other upgrades being coming are Alfa Romeo and Haas. And Alfa Romeo, that's their first upgrade for about a season and a half. So again, this game, there needs to be more upgrades. You can see how flat some of those lines are for the lower teams. They need to be bringing more upgrades as well. That's something that needs to be looked at for future F1 games, whether or not they introduce like a monetary value as well, rather than just having a I think, although there is the HQ, obviously, as you know, when we were at Aston Martin, their HQ it probably hasn't been upgraded still, because they haven't brought an upgrade this entire season, and are probably not going to as well. One thing to note though, this is something that I haven't yet done in any, since this was introduced, this system was introduced, I've never actually been able to get through a whole season on allocated parts. And yes, I know it's a 16 round season, you get the same allocation, but I think that's nevertheless a good sign, because in the fact we were doing the 16 round races on F1 2020 career mode, and we still didn't manage to do it in any of the seasons there. So at least that's, you know, managing that, as opposed to just could have easily at the times of the points in the year just taking a fresh engine component and be safely through at times. But anyway, moving to qualifying, we're down in P10. Not surprising. Mexico is a weird track for me. I seem to have very good pace in Sector 1 and Sector 1 alone. Sector 2 and Sector 3 are absolutely horrific. Especially Sector 2 with the S's, and even more so of course on this year's game with the AI being so OP through fast right-handers. As it stands, we've not actually improved through Sector 1. We've got time we can make up through the S section, however, and you're going to see that time be made through now as we take it more to the racing line there as well. We've made up our 10th actually in our previous spec time. 4.5 tenths down though on Alonso's time, so that's not great, to be honest. Through into the final sector, a little bit less because obviously it's slower speed corners. Although it would have been better, of course they've taken that ROP-ness through slower speed corners away, but it's still not enough. Fractionally slower than Ocon there, but you know, the top 6 separated by 2.5 tenths as well. But interestingly, good news is Leclerc on pole. Verstappen though is right up there along with the 2 McLarens. So we'll see what we can do though. Time for the race.
Here we go then. It's time to race in Mexico City, a place which gave Honda their first ever victory back in 1965. American Richie Ginther won from 3rd on the grid. And what are the Honda-powered cars this year? Well, Red Bull have been going strong here in recent seasons, so can they keep that record going today? We're a long way above sea level here in Mexico today, which could pose some cooling issues for the cars as they make their way around this 2.6-mile lap. 17 corners with top speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and watch out for potential overtaking into turns 1 and 4. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn one. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Sainz, Lewis Hamilton and Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, a Mercedes and Pierre Gasly, Russell, Giovinazzi, Yuki Tsunoda and Ricciardo, Perez, Latifi and Guan Yu Zhou and Mick Schumacher. Mazepin and Sebastian Vettel starts from the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Race strategy simply is a one-stop. We're going to lower the fuel limit a bit as well to try and get extra straight line speed then. So 5 red lights for the Mexican Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go for the penultimate round of the season, and it's an okay start. Was initially better than Alonso, but then Alonso gets that second phase of the launch. The Alpine, not as draggy as this Mercedes car, I feel, in a straight line. I'm just going to dive around the outside, a little bit iffy there. Oh, and Sainz is off. Sainz has had a Spinalla in the Ferrari, and that could be his championship over as well. Let's get a replay on board. We've made big good positions up. He tries to dive Lando Norris and taps his rear right left. That's Sainz's fault for me, but we've had a good start up to P4. This is exactly what we need in terms of the World Championship. Throughout this race I'll show you the live standings as they are on the right hand side, as Hamilton has little go at us down the inside, but we're unable to pretend. But we are 6 points ahead of Verstappen though, which is concerning. We don't want Verstappen to be taken in lead. We want Leclerc to win the race to give us a lead going into the final round at Brazil. Hamilton really needs to back off. And he needs to win the race, and I need to be P10. In actual fact, Stroll is going to get in front of Hamilton here. He's going to go on the second DRS straight. We'll have the goes to the outside, turns the inside for the next corner. Stroll is able to get the power down earlier and move ahead. It'd be nice also if the Alpines can get involved, because they're completely out of the championship. Stroll, he's 23 points behind. So as I said, it's pretty much a two-horse race, although Stroll is still mathematically in chance at this point as well. But Verstappen is all over the place trying to fight Leclerc. We do not want Verstappen to take the lead, otherwise he takes the lead in the championship. But there's contact there between Verstappen and Leclerc, and I wonder, yes, Verstappen's going slowly. I think Verstappen might have front wing damage. Here goes Lando Norris. He needs to win the race, of course, if he wants to take his chances of getting a championship down to Brazil as well. And there is Verstappen. He's going oh so slowly. He goes into the pits, and we're up onto the podium as well. So Verstappen, that's desperately disappointing for Verstappen. That's him out of the championship as it stands, and it's me v Stroll as it stands. So we'll see that, although Verstappen will probably be able to one stop from here, so we'll see if he's able to use the clean air, not get stuck behind anybody as well, like of course Stroll and Hamilton are, because as I said, we don't have great straight line speed in this Mercedes for some reason, and as a result of that, Stroll is not able to push away from Stroll really, and it's also hurting my pace. But jump to lap number 9 then. We are coming in. Stroll and Hamilton picked the lap before, so hopefully undercutting hasn't able to help us out. on the soft tyres. There goes SAINZ. He's recovering from his earlier Spinalla, although he's only been getting a fraction of points and not really. He needs to outscore me to not finish. And there is Russell Giovinazzi, and there's Stroll. Is Stroll going to go past us? Yes, he is. What about Hamilton? He's stuck behind Tsunoda. We're going to come out in front of Hamilton and Tsunoda. We're going to go slightly defensive on both of them as well. Make sure that Hamilton gets in front of Tsunoda, but that's bad news that Stroll is in front of us. But we'll look to overtake Stroll. Stroll is stuck behind, just going through past Giovinazzi now. We're going to try and get Giovinazzi now, so we're directly behind it. So I think Tsunoda's had his Spinalla there. We'll get a replay of that in just a moment, and in actual fact now. Here, a lovely little move, excuse me, I'm replaying, excuse me, of Giovinazzi around the outside in that little hairpin there. And this is what happened to Tsunoda then. He was being overtaken by Verstappen, who's also recovering behind, and he's hit the curb, tried to get the power down. He's might have rear diffuser damage actually there. As we're now closing in on Stroll, this is crucial for the championship as well in our search for dominance as we go. Stroll tries to come back. There's the contact between myself and Stroll, but we're able to get back in front of the Canadian in the Red Bull and up to P5, but we're not really able to push away from Stroll. Verstappen, he's in P6, so that's going to give him points, so he's back in the championship hunt, albeit down in P6. Stroll P4, but they are both quite some way behind. As we're watching Nicholas Latifi, he had struggles at USA with a puncture, and unfortunately his engine is now given up. He's out of the race with an engine failure, but we now got to hold on. Norris and Leclerc are running away with this. I think Norris needs to overtake Leclerc. We'll get a replay of that. Stroll and Hamilton go side by side, but Stroll's able to get the power down once again. We're now holding on. We're weaving on the straights against Stroll, our championship rival, second championship rival, I should say, after Verstappen. There, Stroll tried. We're able to come back around the outside. Stroll turning the inside. Again, lap 17. Stroll comes back at us with DRS. Going to take the racing line, go a little bit deep as we can do through turn 1. That gives us the inside through turns 2, turn 3, and it's a lovely stout typical defence at Mexico. Lap 18. This is the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. Stroll once again goes down the inside of that corner. We'll once again take the same line we've done previously through that corner, and we've now just got to hold on through these. This is the penultimate DRS straight. Can Stroll come back at us? He's getting closer, you know. He's had a good exit through turn 2, but Stroll thinks about it around the outside and is unable to get past us. And really, it's now about time of holding on. And in actual fact, I think Stroll might have hit us, and he's not nowhere near us. Did he hit the rear end? Oh, he did touch. He touched our rear end going through there. Again, I mean, it was my corner really, but yes. So Stroll has front wing damage, even though it looks like he's got an intact front wing. That's just simulation damage on the end. And Hamilton goes round the outside of Stroll on the final, going into sector 3 on the final corner as Verstappen unable to get in front of Stroll to give him those extra 2 points. We've come through for a podium, which I'll definitely take after our qualifying rows. And it's definitely a good result. Hamilton comes home in P4, which is exactly what we want of him. He's now out though of the championship. We'll take a look at the standings in just a moment. Leclerc won from Norris as well, so the Ferrari looking good. Can they transfer their late run of form into season 3? Because they've won the last 3 races now, Ferrari, after not winning any the entire season. Ocon there down in P7. Alonso pitted twice. I think he had damage. He was a lot further back today. Alonso didn't really show there. 1:12.8. I don't think that's a realistic fastest lap, but it doesn't matter anyway. He doesn't get the points as well. A couple of lap cars there as well, just showing how poor their pace was as well. So going into the final race then, we have a 19-point lead over Verstappen and a 24-point lead over Stroll. All the others, Norris, Sainz, Hamilton and Ricciardo, I mean, it was a tough ask for Ricciardo after his penalty anyway to come through. All of them are now out of the running. So it's a 3-horse race at Brazil, but the points gap is large, and Verstappen or Stroll both have to win, and I have to score low points or not at all. In case of Stroll, I have to. He has to win, and I have to finish he has to win and fastest lap actually to because of my number of wins. Because Stroll has only won once as well. The Constructors' Championship, however, is definitely tasty. Ferrari can still win that if they get a 1-2, I think. Or can they? I don't think they can. I think they can still get third. Unfortunately, our ultimate brakes upgrade failed, and that's annoying. I was hoping for that little bit of edge to take on Ferrari, but nevertheless, it's a good result. Another podium. This is exactly the result that I needed. Stroll and Verstappen finished behind me, and the likes of Norris, and it was like we only got outscored by Norris, who's had a fantastic finish, I must say, with 4th, 3rd, 2nd, maybe 1st in Brazil for our fellow Brit. We'll have to wait and see. He can still finish runner-up as well if he wins, and Verstappen and Stroll don't have a good race. So and as I say never in Formula 1. But there is looking like we could have one hand on the trophy in next week's episode. We'll have to wait and see. But if you have then enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel and you see plenty more F1 2021 driver career mode videos as and when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.